West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS.
All right, and welcome into another episode of West War Room Rivals. It's roll call time. I am Corey with Shovik Sports.
And I am Austin with Shovik Sports.
Matt.
I'm Matt with Orange Crush News 365.
What's up, everybody? It's Cody representing Raider Nation. Fellas, welcome.
And we have three
Thank you.
special guests to us. So, Joel, go ahead and get you introduced, and then we'll go down the line.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm Joel. I'm from 3 Guys 6 Balls NFL podcast. I do, in fact, have 2 balls.
Thank you for verifying.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm
Good to
Avery.
know. Good to know.
I'm one guy with 2 balls. Former child.
I'm Will, the third of the 3 guys, and the 6th of the 6 balls. So here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Rounding out.
And I do want to say shout out to Spy Optic for the glasses. Again, guys, you see us promoting them every episode. So make sure when you guys are checking out, you use Orange 20 and get yourself a pair of shades. They have a nice variety, a large variety, prescription glasses, sunglasses, anything, you name it, they got it. So Spy Optic, Orange 20, make sure to use the code. All right, guys, so we have football this week. Week 1, finally. Cowboys, Eagles, Thursday.
Time.
Yes. So Cowboys, Eagles, former Cowboy fans here. We'll get into that later on in the episode. Guys, this matchup on paper, it's a rivalry game. And again, West War Room Rivals was a rivalry show to begin with. So I know banners are going to be dropping. It's still the Cowboys. So obviously for you hate the Eagles. So I'm kind of curious as who you're going to be rooting for in this game. Cody, week 1, Thursday Night Football. What are you expecting?
Not Micah Parsons on the field.
Boom.
And Kenny Clark will be there.
Yeah, he will be. I mean, hopefully. I think what's tough is, this probably did look like a good NFC East matchup before Parsons trade. Eagles, we're going to see if they can repeat. I don't know, though, to be truthful, even if they had Micah Parsons, if the Cowboys were going to be really vying for the East. But, I mean, it's a really good NFC East matchup to kick off the season. So I'm really curious to see where everyone stacks. But we'll see if the Eagles repeat. I mean, they are favored, I think, to repeat if I'm not mistaken. So we've got a lot of interesting storylines with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, their defense, and also Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. I don't know if their storylines are as good, but at last, here we are.
Yeah. So let's start with you guys. You're our guest, and obviously, Joel, I want to start with you though. Before the Parsons debacle and all that stuff happened, how are you feeling about the Cowboys kind of going into this week 1 matchup?
Not good. Both Will and I were like, yeah, this team is like 5 to 7 wins. Like 7 wins is like the max. Yeah, it's just But I mean, while I have the mic here, I want to say three things: screw Micah Parsons, screw Jerry Jones, and screw the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey,
There it is.
Will, do you have anything to
Words
back
to
that?
live by.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how I followed that up.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, you're trying to win the Super Bowl, right? That's everybody's goal every year, right? I would say every team's goal. There are, I think, officially 31 teams, this year this year that are actively vying to win the Super Bowl, and then the Dallas Cowboys. Because we can win right now with these picks. We got 4 picks in the next 2 years, and we might just trade somebody. Okay, the only trades you're making are for no nothings, no ball pussy losers, and then you're trading away your best players. So that's just what we got. So Dallas is making moves to lose actively. So I think their 5 wins probably drops to 3. It's going to be a murder fest in Philly this Thursday.
And then,
I do have a follow-up for Joel and Will real quick. Sorry, Corey. But would you guys be as upset if the Micah trade brought back better value than just 2 firsts? Or is it that Micah has gone in general that you guys were upset with?
I don't think you trade a generational pass rusher who's a future Hall of Famer for anything.
Fair. The Raiders have done that before, so I understand the pain. So
when probably 5-6 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Well, I guess he's been retired for a while. 5-6 years ago now, when there was a whole Brady check, one of the guys has to go debacle, and what did Robert Kraft do? Absolutely nothing. You both are staying right here in New England. Get over it.
Yeah.
And so he just said, I own you, metaphorically, of course. I own your contracts. If either you stop playing or you play for me. And because, again, you have generational talent. You have all-time talent in Tom Brady. Not that Micah Parsons is equivalent to Tom Brady. I'm not delusional. But when you have an all-pro type guy in your team like that who is willing to make a deal and work it out, and you just go, we might as well just not. Let's just get back a bag of rocks and some mid to late first round picks at best, and hope for the best here. Oh, also Kenny Clark, who's definitely on the back end of his career.
Avery, you're the neutral one, so let's hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm not a Cowboys fan. That being said, I think
neither are we.
I think they're going to do a little better. I think Prescott is going to show out this season. I think it has little to do with the fact that he's on our fantasy team, but I think that I just see him showing out. I see a lot of hate on him. He's one of the highest. Is he still the highest paid, or is he one of the highest paid quarterbacks? Is he
I think
the highest paid?
The highest paid.
Yeah.
Is he the?
But Michael Parsons is close, though.
Yeah. I think he's going to show out. I think this is a year he's not going to get hurt. He's going to try to prove the haters wrong, which is impossible, but I think that they're going to pull out at least 8 wins. So I think the ceiling for them is mediocrity, but I think the floor is below average, but
so
not
same as
abysmal. Yeah,
Well,
but I don't think they're gonna just crash and burn.
I mean, maybe they should, so that way they at least get a high top 10 draft pick. You would think, right?
It won't matter. It won't matter, and that's why they're leaving. None of it. Whether they win, do well, do bad, nothing changes. So it's one of those things where it's like, this is cool, but none of it matters, because even if some good fortune comes of this, Jerry will make sure he ruins it. So,
well, and I think we're going to find out how good the offense truly is now, because now they're going to have to really score. I mean, I do like the George Pickens signing, or getting George Pickens for that. Not so high on their run game still, just based on what Javonte Williams did in Denver last year. I don't think he does much better in Dallas's whatever Schottenheimer system really is. But I am curious though. You hate the Cowboys. We already know you have the hatred for the Eagles because of the Super Bowl, which, by the way, that Super Bowl was beautifully played by the Eagles.
We'll still watch it.
Hard to argue that.
I'll still watch it. Who are you going for?
Oh, without a doubt, the Eagles.
Hell yeah.
I've never really liked the Cowboys. They've had players here or there that I've enjoyed. Like, I'm probably the all-time Dez Bryant fan outside of Dallas. I was actually a big Tony Romo fan too. On the football field, to be determined or whatever in the booth. But I've liked some of their players, but I hope the Eagles win. And honestly, I like the Cowboys' offense on paper. Like outside of the running backs, Jake Ferguson, I think, is an underappreciated and undervalued tight end. Pickens, they had Turpin. Nobody ever talks about Turpin. I know you have CeeDee Lamb and you have Pickens now, but like Turpin's kind of that game changer. So I do think on offense, I think Avery was correct. I think Dak's going to ball out, partially because he's not as bad as people say. I don't think he's as good as some people say either, but he's a good quarterback and he has weapons and they're going to have to score because even before the Parsons trade, I don't think Cowboys defense was that good. Obviously, you lose a guy like Parsons and every level of your defense becomes worse. You have to cover a little longer. You probably have to blitz a little bit more just across the board. So, I'm going for the Eagles. That Super Bowl was rough. I mean, Chiefs will be back for the fourth one in a row this year. So, it's not like the worst thing that's ever going to happen, but can't win them all. But, you won't catch me going for the Cowboys in many games.
Matt, let's get your final thoughts on this before we kind of move on to our AFC West questions.
Yeah, so the things I'm looking for in this game is how many picks is it going to take for George Pickens to have an Antonio Brown type crash out and just get so frustrated with this team and just want to leave. But in all seriousness, I'm going to go for the Eagles, but I'm excited to see. I mean, you have two good wide receiver duos on each team. You have what is it? AJ Brown? Is it right? Yeah, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Yep, Devontae Smith, and then you have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. So now it's like, how are the defenses going to approach each other with these receiving duos on there? So I think the Eagles got the edge. I think Jalen's a better quarterback, and no one can stop the tush push. The Cowboys' run game is trash. Jerry Jones is trash. The Cowboys are basically the Bengals of the NFC with a combination, with a little hybrid of the Chargers, because we have a saying here: the Chargers are going to Charger, the Cowboys are going to Cowboy. So I think the Eagles are going to take this one
easily.
Yeah. I think opening night, banners going to be dropped, rings to be had. Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's close just based on the rivalry. They always play each other well, so I guess we'll see from there. So let's kind of get into some questions now with the AFC West, because throughout the episode we're going to be making pitches to you guys of joining one of the AFC West fan bases. This could be fun or it could be really bad.
It really takes a pair of balls for this.
It really.
Good thing we brought some extra.
Hey, so of course I'm going to lead with the Raiders. You want to get that out of the way first, right?
Yeah.
So,
Jesus.
So my first question that I posed to everybody tonight was, could the Raiders actually surprise some teams? And I'm going to open this with discussion. And since we do have Raider representation in here, Cody, I'm going to give the mic to you. Could the Raiders surprise some teams this year? Go.
I mean, every season there's teams that take a step back, and I think, Bears, even though they've improved, how much have they improved? I think that's a team that might, be one that we get a win from. Colts, I don't think that they're much better than last year. I think the Commanders, I'm not trying to say that they're a team that, is going to roll over for the Raiders, but the Raiders, I think, would put up a fight. I think what's interesting is to see what kind of shootouts we get into. Our defense is not going to win us games. I'll just be very blunt about that. It is not a defensive game for us. We're going to have to air it out a lot. We're going to have to get into a lot of shootouts with some teams, be creative. We're going to go through some periods of gel and cohesion that we're still working through. But I do think that towards the latter part of the season, when this offense gets clicking, maybe we get some momentum. I do think that there are some games, divisional games even. I can see us taking a game against the Chargers, or, if we have the Chiefs and we have momentum on our side. It's happened before where we've had a team that shouldn't have won and we did. And so I think that in our division, it's a 50-50 split. And I think throughout the season, teams go through injuries, or maybe they don't get advanced as much as everyone else forecasted. And so the Raiders are able to get on top of it. Now, again, a lot of things have to fall our way, like our defense, which is suspect at best. But I do think the Raiders could steal some games. They even did it last year with beating Baltimore in week 2 last year, and that was with a hot mess of a team. Now with some organization with Pete Carroll, I think that more teams could be on upset alert when they go against us. So I will say yes.
Sweet.
Can I just follow up on that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shoot.
So something you said, Cody, was you mentioned the latter part of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I was looking at today is, the last 6 games for the Raiders are very tough. They play the Chargers, Broncos, Eagles, Texans, Giants, and Chiefs. And I feel like personally that last 6-game stretch is when we're going to really find out who these Raiders are.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the games where we're going to find out exactly who the 2025 Raiders are.
Right.
Because those games are very tough. There's divisional games in there. You've got the Super Bowl champs. I don't think the Giants are going to go down easy. The Chiefs are always going to be up there. So that's going to be a tough 6-game stretch right there.
I think if we're in a position to where, and again, I know when I was on your guys' show earlier this year, I was saying that the Raiders, I could see them being a wild card team. And in some cases, I could make the argument then there's other AFC teams where I can probably see a better path. But you're right. Like when we go against the Chargers and then we follow up with the Broncos and we go to Philadelphia, then we go to Houston, like that 4-game stretch, we're either going to, go 500, 0-4, 4-0, 3-1. Like there's all sorts of combinations. And also attrition plays into a part. Where are these teams going to be at in that part of the season? Chargers lost one of their best, starting tackles. How formidable of a team are they going to be at this point? And how healthy are they going to be towards the end of it? The Broncos, like how healthy are they going to be towards the end of it? So also big question, can the Raiders stay healthy? That's another big one. I'm kind of throwing this out to other teams, but more or less too, can the Raiders stay healthy? Will Geno Smith be the quarterback for all 17 games? So I agree. Like the latter part is going to be a tough stretch, but I do think that's like where the Raiders really, to your point, submit whether or not they're a true threat in the AFC in terms of like just getting a wild card. I'm not saying they're going to win the West by any stretch of the imagination, but could they be in the hunt for a playoff spot or a wild card berth? I think that this team is a lot more mature to be in a better situation than they were last year, or even in the last year with Josh McDaniels.
Avery, what do you think?
No, I think the Raiders are going to do all right. I don't think they're going to do great in that last stretch. Honestly, if anything, from what I've seen, I feel like this is going to be a nice starter year. I think with the team they have now, I think it's going to kind of set the tone with Pete Carroll there as well. I don't have a lot of faith in good coaches coming into bad teams in their first year. I have faith that they will pick it up and move in the right direction. But I see this year as just kind of, let's see what we have. We're not in any rush. No one expects us to win anything, but we can gauge and see what we need and build on that. Because I feel like, the same with Bill Belichick, who I just watched. I've got
destroyed.
Yeah,
I've got faith in him. But it's like, dude, okay, you've got an entire new coaching staff. Your AD just left, the athletic director, and you have 70 new players. And you have a witch on the sideline just like looming. And I think it's one of those things where, look, that witch could be the X factor, but like we have to see like how long that takes to kick in, when these players all start to melt. All of that to be said, I think the Raiders are on the right track. I don't think they're going to have a successful year as far as this season is concerned, but success as far as the long-term goal is concerned.
Sure.
Yeah, and that could be a dangerous team, just how you explained it, right? They have nothing to lose, right? They could go out there and do what they need to do. Will, what are your thoughts on the Raiders?
I like the Raiders this year. I think so. Everybody is given the Bears basically the Super Bowl of the year. Oh, Ben Johnson this, and oh, Ben Johnson that.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, the Bears are going to be the best because of Ben Johnson. Okay. The guy made it to some games as a coordinator, right? Not taking anything away from him. But the Raiders brought in a coach who's won a Super Bowl, right? He's a proven coach, consistently good. And what did that coach do? He went out and got the pieces to make his offense the way he wants it. And so as much as people are giving Ben Johnson his laurels, I think that Pete Carroll should be getting the same, because he's going to take a team that was Not great last year. Trying to be polite to the Raiders fan here.
All good.
Not great last year.
That's very nice of you, considering I just drugged the Cowboys. So the fact that you're
That's
even
okay.
being
Well,
respectful,
I
I
don't care.
appreciate it.
Cowboys
we don't
suck.
care about those guys anymore.
All right, so they don't even like them anymore.
They don't even go
No.
here.
That and there's another. I heard this other stat, and I can't remember where I heard it. But Geno Smith is two different quarterbacks, whether he's playing in a dome or
The
whether
Green
he's playing
Light,
outside.
the Green Light podcast from Chris Long.
Yes,
Yep, I saw that.
That's
clip.
exactly it. He's basically twice the quarterback he is in a dome versus not. And he plays. The Raiders play 11 games in a dome.
Yeah.
And I mean, like his QBR drops in a dome. It's 103 point something. Outside, it's like 79.
80s. Yeah, it's
Yeah, 80 something. It
Yeah.
is significant. It is a significant drop in his QBR. He's like twice the quarterback. And so if you can get those 11 games of Dome Geno, that's enough to put you in the playoffs. 11 wins in the AFC gets you in the playoffs. I don't think it wins the division. I don't think
Right.
11 wins the West, but it definitely gets you a wild card spot. Not that you're going to win at all of those games because there's a billion factors between now and then.
right.
But I like their odds. I like what the Raiders are doing. They're making team positive moves, unlike the Dallas Cowboys.
I do want to respond to Avery's point real quick when he said that this might be a trial year in some respects. I don't know how much coaching Pete Carroll has left. I know we signed him to a 3-year deal, and he's the oldest coach in the NFL at the moment. So I don't know if they're going to waste 1 year to figure out what they have and then spend the next 2 years hoping to be in the playoffs. I do think that we'll probably see the Raiders put their best foot forward, and not in a rebuild sense, but in the sense of like, we want to measure up to see how good we truly are year one, and not just take like a flyer year to see, okay, what do we need to improve on? Now, with that being said, I think how they're rushing it on the defensive side and offensive line really makes me wonder, are we going to survive the season? But, I think the Raiders could really, I don't want to steal this word, but try hard in their first year, just because they really want to maximize as many of these players. Geno's on a 3-year. Myers is going to be gone after this year if they don't get in the contract extension. I don't see Pete Carroll signing an extension after his 3rd year of coaching. I think this is his last 3 years of coaching because he'll be in his 80s by the time this contract is up. So I think the Raiders are on a clock here, and this is year one of like, we need to make some monumental moves, because year 2 is probably a make or break, because year 3, it's going to look a lot different for the Raiders come that time.
Let's go
Yeah,
Austin.
Oh,
Go ahead, Adrian.
Real quick, I was just going to say, I definitely don't think that they see it as a rebuilding year. I would say kind of probably the same deal as the Broncos a little bit from this past season, where it's like, you made it to the playoffs and then you lost a game, but everyone saw that as a success and that they're on the right track. And so I think that's kind of the big thing, whether I'm sure their goal is a Super Bowl, as it should be. But I think it's one of those things where you put them on the right track and you get everyone talking about, not that the hype matters at all for the team's success, but you get everyone talking about them the way that they've been talking about the Broncos recently. I think that's kind of best case scenario, other than just, I guess, winning a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like the Raiders. Obviously, I'm a Chiefs fan. Just going to make that clear now, because I'm actually going to have a lot of very nice things to say about the Raiders.
Closet Raiders fan.
Not a
Closet Raiders fan.
Just trying to be realistic when observing their team. Their fans stab people. Just remember that when we go to
And your fans rob banks. What are we talking about?
Dude, and he got away with it forever. That's way more impressive.
Come on.
If you're going to be a criminal, do it right. Do it well.
Be better at it.
Be legendary.
They have the refs on this side. That's why you got to run away with it so long.
Be the last time I ever seen a Chiefs game, unfortunately. No screen time for you, sir.
That's fine. No, I actually like the Raiders. I like what they're doing. I'm a big Pete Carroll fan. I do think before all of it happened, we actually said, we hope the Raiders don't get Pete Carroll, because that would actually be the right move, and the Raiders don't do those things, and they did. I'm a big Pete Carroll guy. He's got his power back in Ashton Genty. Whether you think he sucks or whether you think, Amarian Hampton's better, Ashton Genty's the real deal. Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, I don't care what you think. He had 0 drops last year. Give me a receiver who drops no balls, and I'm going to be very happy. He's a good quarterback. He's not elite. He's not, bad. he can get the job done. I think the Raiders, in my predictions, I had them actually finishing third in the division and making the playoffs. I think they have enough, honestly, talent, and I think Pete Carroll makes that big of a difference. So I think they could surprise people. It's not going to be a surprise to me because, I just see a lot happening with the Raiders this year. But, if they make the playoffs, that's obviously going to surprise people, and I see them making the playoffs or being right there till the end.
Matt?
Yeah, no, so I always said, I'm a firm believer in coaching, and the Raiders always just needed someone that they could get behind, that the whole locker room could just get behind. And I think Pete Carroll is that guy. And it's, like Avery's point, it's going to be kind of like a Sean Payton effect where, the goal is always a Super Bowl. Are we going to get there this season? Definitely not. But let me see what I'm working with and see how we do. And then next season, I can come up with a better game plan to make that push into the playoffs, like the Broncos did. They, Sean Payton's first year, they had Russ Wilson. They were in the hunt. They were in and out of the hunt at the back end of the season, ended up not making it. The next year, though, they put those pieces together and made that playoff run. So I can see the Raiders kind of taking the same approach. Will they finish last in the division? I don't know. I think they can outdo the Chargers, but I don't see a playoff push here this season anyway. But I do think they're going to be competitive. And this is a very well-coached division. Between the 4 head coaches, you have 8 Super Bowl appearances. You have 5 Super Bowl wins. So, this is a very well-coached division. The Raiders definitely look better coached now that they kind of have, stability. Will they steal a few wins? Like you said, Cody, I think absolutely they will. I think they're going to be a more competitive team. I just think you're not going to really see any, real effects until the next season where he can actually put pieces together.
So I kind of think back, and I think how young Pete Carroll was the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Was he born yet?
I don't. Yeah, man. But
Why do we keep bringing up the Cowboys? It's like some guys are former Cowboys fans or something.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they were talking about the AFC West out here. Jeez.
Yeah, I also do think the Raiders improved this year. I'm not as high on them as some people in here are, but I do like them at 8 and 9. I do have them finishing last in the division, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they did get to that 9 to 10 win range. I think 10 would be the ceiling for them, but I think 8 and 9 is respectable. And I think any Raiders fan should take year 1 under Pete at 8 and 9. I think that's kind of in the right direction. And that gives you a little bit more expectations heading into year 2 with Pete. And then you can go, build your roster. There's still plenty of holes on the defense that you can fill in with the draft, and you can kind of go forth with that. So anything else on the Raiders before we move on to the next one? Perfect. So let's talk Chiefs. All right. So the question here is why the Chiefs roster actually did improve. This is kind of I know people are going back and forth and saying they didn't get better. They're actually this could be the year that they take a step back. I call BS on that. I do think that their roster did improve dramatically, more than some think. I do like the left tackle Simmons pick. I think he's going to be really good as long as he can stay healthy. I think they were able to add some depth pieces in the draft on the defensive line with Norman Lott, Gelati, some of those guys. I'm sitting here saying the Chiefs roster is actually, in fact, improved from last year, and I do think that makes them a little bit more dangerous. Yes, no Rashee Rice for 6 weeks, but now you're going year 2 with Xavier Worthy, with Patrick Mahomes. I still think Travis is still going to be fine. He's not young anymore, but I still think he's going to be that weapon for Patrick Mahomes. And then obviously some of the other rookie skill position players that they do have. Avery, tell me why I'm wrong, or do you agree?
No, I think their offensive line got, I don't want to say significantly better. It got better. And I think that is more than anything is going to make a huge difference. I think giving Patrick Mahomes any additional fractions of a second could be the difference between a win and a loss. I think they're going to get better, although based on our show, I feel like they're going to do worse. I don't even think I had them making the playoffs.
No, you had them at 7 and 10, Avery.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Wow. Hey, we love it.
That's almost the same hate that Austin has for them. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I just think it's going to start to slip. It's going to start to fall apart. I think the AFC West, including the Raiders, are going to start taking their shots at the king. And
Let's go. Yes.
I think everyone has been taking their shots at them for years now. But I don't think they're going to do 7-10. I think that's what I had on the thing, but I'm sure they'll do better than that. But
Clickbait.
Just rage baiting your show.
You don't hate the Chiefs nearly as much as Austin does, and that's the funnier part. Is he's a positive Raiders fan, but he hates the Chiefs.
I want to say we had an episode yesterday. We were going to have our buddy Lincoln on, who we grew up with. He's been a Chiefs fan since forever, since we were children. And I remember asking him, like, why are you a Chiefs fan? He's like, I just picked one day because his dad didn't really care for either team. And he's like, I want to follow a team. And he just chose that team, which I respect, especially since they were dog shit.
Yeah.
And he stuck with them. And I remember asking him when we were in like middle school or high school, like, dude, just change teams. Like, no one's going to judge you, man. And he's like, no, man, I love the Chiefs. And now that they're doing great, I see all these other bandwagon fans, and I don't like gatekeep, and this isn't even my gate to keep, but I see that and I'm like, Lincoln is a real fan. Like this is a real fan. He stuck with them. He got in there in the trenches. It wasn't even like they were great at one point. I got in and I stuck with him. It's like, no. You got into the trench with them and then climbed out with them. Yeah. So, like, I mean, I think the Chiefs are annoying, but I think that has more to do with the media than anything. Sure. I don't have any ill will for the Chiefs, but I think they're going to crash and burn to a degree. From their standard, I think they're going to crash and burn.
No, I'm going to kind of expand on one of the points you made where you said you think the AFC West has gotten better and will take their shots. So I think the best way to put this is I don't think the Chiefs necessarily take a step backwards. I think they're actually still really good. But I think the difference is the other teams have also taken not just steps, like they've taken leaps forward. So it's not that the Chiefs are going to be backwards. It's just the other teams are closer to where they're at now. Because if I'm going to be honest, on paper, this offense it's probably one of the best offenses all the way around that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid has had since being in Kansas City. If Josh Simmons pans out and Rashee Rice comes back, you have Rice, Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Jalen Royals. I'm a big Thornton fan as your 5 receiver. Kels, Noah Gray, Jared Wiley, Robert Tonyan. Like, this is probably the best that offense has been. So I actually think the Chiefs will be fine. But to what you said, I think everyone else has just closed the gap and teams are closer to them now.
Let's go Will and then Joel next.
I don't have a lot to say here, truly. I don't. Going back to our friend Lincoln here, because he's such a diehard Chiefs fan, I absolutely hate the Chiefs. Because nothing makes you hate a team more than a diehard fan in your friend group. Yeah, if your friend loves that team,
we can relate.
Any amount of competition against that friend, I hate you and everything about your team. So they are, unfortunately, they are on my list of just not going to happen teams. Like already, season hasn't started. No way by the end of this season am I going to be a Chiefs fan. 1, for bandwagoning, and 2, because of Lincoln. All right, that's his thing. I'm going to let him have it. But I kind of agree with Avery. I think the Chiefs roster may be better, but like it's been said before, I don't think it is making significant improvements. I've heard from multiple Chiefs fans that, we just don't care about the regular season. All we care about is getting to the playoffs and then coasting until the playoffs, and then it's on. And you're only able to do that for so long until everybody else catches up to you. If you stay stagnant for too long, all of a sudden you are now in last place. I do not think the Chiefs are going to be in last place in the West. That is a bunker statement to make. But I don't think they're making, as you said, as big a strides as everyone else in the West, except maybe the Chargers. And I just think that the competition is growing too much. And although it doesn't seem to matter how much film is out on Mahomes, you cannot stop that guy when he turns it on. We see more and more year after year film on, okay, this is what Mahomes does. This is his tendencies. This is who he likes in these scenarios. This is who he likes in those scenarios. And football is becoming more and more analytical. Like it, hate it, indifferent. It is becoming more and more about the tiniest fraction of a percentage point to make a decision. And that is going to help everyone else besides those who are actively winning regularly. I mean, it's going to help them too, but like it's not going to help them get better. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Chiefs got better, but I also don't think they got worse. I think they're kind of just the same as they were last year. And maybe, if anything, I would say the offensive line maybe got a little better if Josh Simmons can come in and play well. But here's the thing that I will say is we've heard all this talk about the Chiefs taking a step back before, right? You know, when they lost Tyreek Hill, it's like, oh, what are they going to do? All they have is Travis Kelce. Who else do they have? And then Patrick Mahomes goes and throws for 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
We've heard this all before. It's something that we've all heard before multiple times. Every year the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. They're going to take a step back this year. They're going to take a step back this year. Now, here's what I will say as well about the Chiefs. They're not going to be able to get away with having a 59-point differential this year.
No.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to do that because last year they won 10 games by 7 points or less, and they won 5 games by 3 points or less. If 6, if you include the playoffs against the Bills. They're not going to be able to do that. There is no way that the Raiders quarterback is just going to happen to look over and fumble the ball against the Chiefs when they're supposed to win that game. And there's no way that the Broncos are going to get a field goal blocked when they're supposed to win that game against the Chiefs. Their luck is it's going to run out. So if they want to be the same that they were, they're going to have to play better than they did last year. They're just going to have to play better. I don't think they got worse, but I don't think they got better as a team. So I think they're kind of just the same, but they're going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to figure out how to overcome the getting lucky at the last second every time.
Matt, Cody?
Matt, go ahead first.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. You know, same with you, Joel. I don't think they got better. I don't think they got worse. So I do think they added, you know, the young talent, Jalen Royals and, you know, Brashard Smith, who I was really high on in the draft, adding that kind of talent. You have a young team. You have a young receiving core. Xavier Worthy, I mean, look at him. Look at the season he had in his rookie year and not even in his prime yet, you know. And to everyone's point, the Chiefs were supposed to, you know, last year, they weren't even supposed to win the division. You know, they were gonna go to second place. Chargers were supposed to take it, something like that, something obscure like that. But they weren't going to make a playoff push. They weren't going to be the same Chiefs they were before. The season before, you know, before that, oh, the Chiefs days are done. They lost Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs days are done. Just when you think you have the Chiefs dead to rights, and not even like when they lost players, but just in game situations, just when you think you have them dead to rights, Pat Mahomes, they find ways to win. They just like the Eagles are good at the tush push, the Chiefs are good at finding ways to win. One of the things they excel at is going down, hey, let's do some backyard football. The play is busted. Again, you think you have Pat Mahomes dead to rights. Oh, there's Travis Kelce open for 15 yards, and he takes it 40 more yards to the house. So you can never underestimate him. You can never rule him out. And I refuse to rule them out in anything. I refuse to rule them out of a playoff push. I even refuse to rule them out of a Super Bowl appearance again, just because at the end of the day, they're still the Chiefs. And Andy Reid is a good coach. It's a well-coached team. You have some young talent. Did the offensive line get a little bit better? Sure, maybe. I mean, last year they gave up 43 sacks as opposed to the season prior. They gave up 28. And that was their problem right there, was they had a revolving door of an offensive line. So now it's going to see like, all right, did the addition of Simmons kind of like help anchor that line a little bit? Does Mahomes have the protection? How are these receivers going to step up in this new offensive scheme? So questions that, you know, that have yet to be seen, but I still think the Chiefs are, I still have them taking the division. I still think they're going to make that playoff push. So
can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
So if you look at Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, that's probably the closest comparison we can make to Mahomes and Andy Reid, right?
Yep.
So when they first started winning Super Bowls, they won 3 in 4 years. Then they went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. 10 years. I think a lot of people forget that. It wasn't just Brady going to the Super Bowl every single year like people think it was. but they went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. So even if the Chiefs go 5 years without winning a Super Bowl, maybe year 6, they're right back there. Like it's still, as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, especially with Andy Reid, they're always going to have a shot. Even if they're not going to the Super Bowl, they're always going to be there. They're always going to be around.
I think to continue that point, like in Joel, to your credit about the 1-score games, like I don't know if the Chiefs are going to win 1-score games like they did last year. I think in the statistic you gave, they were 11-0 during those 1-score games. I don't know if they duplicate that same effort, considering like everybody gives the Chiefs their best. They don't get a week off. They don't play some team that is sandbagging it. Every single week, the Chiefs are going to get some team's absolute best because they're going to make it a point that they're going to be the ones to beat the Chiefs. Like that's the end goal. And to everyone's point here, that's kind of making the same thing about, they have a good roster. They didn't really make a whole lot of changes. I think baseline for the Chiefs is playoffs, fighting for a number 1 AFC West or AFC seed. Like that's baseline for the Chiefs. Everything below that then is, okay, fine. They take a step back. What does that look like? Them still in the playoffs. I think what makes it tough is, with Patrick Mahomes, with the offensive creativity is Andy Reid. And I think what makes Andy Reid different than Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick ran like a very systematic, militarized, like set of a franchise to where you even hear former players unhappy or really not having fun with how he did things, even though they won. And you hear Andy Reid is the best coach that any players ever played for, and they'd play for him until they couldn't play football anymore. And I think there's a huge difference in why Andy Reid, in all the years that he has coached, has been successful in Philadelphia and the success that he's found in Kansas. I think, listen, offensively, are the Chiefs better? I think it depends on how that rookie turns out on their offensive line. But no doubt with Rashid Rice coming back, if Isaiah Pacheco is healthy as their starting running back, this is going to look like a top 10 offense all over again. And that defense, that defense is one that's always put a lot of pressure on defenses when they protect a lead. So I think the Chiefs are probably, again, they're the West team to beat. In the AFC, do I think the gap of talent between the Bills, Ravens, maybe the Texans this year, depending on what they look like, is the gap closing? Sure. But also, like, they're still the most well-coached team in the NFL. There's no doubt. There's no team that is close to them. You could throw out a Kyle Shanahan team. You can throw out a Mike Tomlin team. Andy Reid and the Chiefs are the number 1 well-coached team in the NFL. And you can't just beat that off of making great plays and all this. You've got to beat them in 3 phases of football, and not a lot of teams have done that. That's why when the Eagles demolished them in the Super Bowl, it was a shock because they just had it figured out. And not a lot of teams have done that during Andy Reid's time.
So let's skip the Chargers question real quick because I do want to. Obviously, I'd rather talk Bo Nix than I would the Chargers.
We would too. We would too.
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like we're already kind of leaning towards one way. Just saying. So my question was, would Bo Nix be a top 5 quarterback at the end of the season? Go for it.
I want this one. I've been on a previous episode. I may or may not have said Bo Nix was going to have like 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns.
It's a bold statement.
It is. I'm a big believer in Bo Nix individually, and I'm a big believer in quarterback-coach combination. Sean Payton is one of the top 2 or 3 coaches to have if you're a quarterback. Me personally, I'd put him right there with Andy Reid, who I'd want my quarterback to have as a coach. And Bo Nix, to me, has that it factor, right? I've said it with Justin Herbert. I don't think Justin Herbert has – we've never seen that it factor from Justin Herbert. We've seen it from Bo Nix, and I'll go to we mentioned the game before where Denver should have won a game, but the field goal got blocked. His homie in his rookie year at Arrowhead Stadium marched down the field to get in field goal position like it was nothing. Like, that's not true. It is something. Like, people don't just do that in Kansas City, let alone a rookie. He just has that it factor. I think he has an MVP season loading. As a Chiefs fan, I hate it. I hope he sucks. I hope I'm wrong on all of this. But man, Bo Nix is that dude, and Sean Payton and Bo Nix are about to just be, unfortunately, just very beautiful to watch.
Will, let's start with you.
You said top what? Top 10? Top 5?
Yeah,
Top 5, yeah. So, I mean, if we're talking quarterbacks, we've got your run of the mill guys, your Lamar Jackson, your Josh Allen, your Joe
run of the
Burrow.
mill.
I mean, those are your guys that are made the top every year.
Yeah,
Those are the
top
three
guys, yeah.
guys. Everybody kind of just says, "Oh, these guys for MVP probably." And I don't. Who would be number 4?
Mahomes.
Mahomes. I did forget about him, but his regular season stats don't back it up anymore.
That's true.
And those awards are based off of regular season stats.
I mean,
So
Baker Mayfield might be in the running for top 5. Jared Goff
Right.
might be in the running for top
AJ
5.
McCarthy.
Yes.
Desmond Ritter.
Caleb Williams, Will.
Spencer Rattler.
I think it's
Might as well throw
6:30,
Tyler
guys.
Shuck in there.
Don't forget Tyler Chuck. Oh.
Yeah. Might as well throw Dak in there. I mean, he's got some players to play, I guess. So what I'm getting at here is the top 3. We can pretty much shock that up. When you get to the 4 or 5, you can start throwing in, well, maybe this guy, well, maybe that guy. And so I think it's very possible that given the team that the Broncos, we talked about the Raiders a lot, it's not my fault, the Broncos are building, I can very well see Bo Nix in his second year, right? It's the second year?
Mhm.
I can do math.
Yep.
I watched him in Oregon 2 years ago. I should be able to do the math. I can very well see him in his second year not having a slump at all like we would expect, like a CJ Stroud, and going the opposite way and excelling even more. I think top 5 is very achievable by Bo Nix.
Joel.
Yeah, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Bo Nix is Sean Payton's modern-day Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
He's the perfect quarterback for Sean Payton.
Yep.
He reminds me a lot of Drew Brees as well. And Sean Payton has already come out and said that in a couple years he thinks that Bo Nix is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. How many coaches do you hear say that about their quarterback? Not a lot. You have to have extreme confidence in your quarterback to say that publicly so everybody can hear it. So I think Bo Nix is fantastic. I think, the fact that he has one of the best offensive lines in the league will only help his case in that defense as well. I have the Broncos and Avery as well as a top 5 team going into the season. So just because of the defense, the offensive line, and the quarterback, the weapons everybody says aren't great, but I don't think that matters when you have a great defense and a great offensive line and a quarterback who is as great as Bo Nix is and is going to be.
Avery.
I want to preface this by saying no one's a bigger fan of Bo Nix in here than me. Not even Austin. Here's the thing. Well, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to talk about that later. But I already love the Broncos. They're in my short list of teams. They're up there. So when it comes to the AFC West, that's probably the one that I would go with if it was up to those 4. Definitely not the Chiefs, same as well. However, I don't think he'll be a top 5 quarterback. I think he will be on his way. I don't think he'll be up at that point. I don't think he's going to be some statistical juggernaut. One of the things with Drew Brees is that, granted, when he got to New Orleans after, 5 or 6 years with the Chargers, he kind of hit the ground running. But one thing is it's a lot of shorter passes. That was Drew Brees' game. It was a lot of slant routes. He wasn't just hucking it down the field. I think that there's still going to be some growing pains for him. I think the team's going to do really well. I don't think anyone is going to think any less of Bo Nix after the season. Top 10, definitely. I just don't want to say top 5 because I don't think it's going to be put on him the same way it's put on Mahomes or Jackson or the other guy at the Bills, Josh Allen. But
just some guy named Josh Allen.
Yeah, just some random guy.
Right. I see him being more of a system quarterback. Not to say that he can't be something else, but on this team, it will be. If you took Drew Brees and you just scaled down the production there, it's not like he's any superstar. He wasn't out there making insane plays.
It was just consistency over and over, just knowing what you were going to get, which is what you want from a quarterback. So I don't see him being as flashy, but I see every Broncos fan loving him and having full confidence in him after the season, which to me, with that system with Sean Payton, is a success.
Sounds like I am a bigger fan.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. I do think at some point he is going to be a top 5 quarterback. I'm not sure I'm quite ready to say this year. I need to see them get a run game. If they can get a run game established and protect him as far as getting the playbook open a little more. I know I heard Sean Payton say either today or yesterday that he's going to put more on Bo's plate this year because he trusts him already. That's crazy to me. And even Drew Brees just said on a podcast, kind of reiterated that, Bo's ready for more on his plate. I need to see a run game first. You can't have Bo out there running 94 times like he did last year. That's not setting him up for success. I don't want to see him get hurt in the process of this. So I'm not quite there on top 10 or top 5 yet, but I will say top 10 for sure. Matt, being the other Broncos, what are your thoughts?
I'm with you, Corey. I'm not ready to say that he's going to be top 5 like this season or next season, but I think he's going to keep making those upward trends as his time in the NFL goes on. Do I think he's going to surpass Justin Herbert before he becomes top 5? Absolutely.
Already has.
Yep. Because again, Herbert can't stay healthy, and Bo Nix has been pretty healthy for the most part. And one of the things I love about Bo Nix is his confidence. He got there as a rookie, and Sean Payton's offenses are very complex. They're old school. They're very complex. They are hard to pick up. And he got there, and he took that playbook and just, like it was nothing, picked it up. That was his offense to command, and he did a great job with it. The team respects him. Even these veteran play, Cortland Sutton and J.K. Dobbins, these guys that have been in the league a little bit longer, like more than 5 years, are already giving him respect. They're coming to him, and he's mentoring these veteran guys. And you don't really see that a lot with the younger QB. So to have the respect of the team, not just on the offense, but the defense as well. Even they're giving him credit, like the safeties. Brendan Jones and the guy we just signed for, I can't say his name right, Tropicana Orange Juice, Bufongo, whatever. Something. If he's watching this, I apologize for butchering his name, but even then, like, he looks off safeties like a pro, like someone who's been in 10 plus years. So to have all these abilities as a young player who's only been in the league, 2 years, is that me making noise? Is that my son? Jesus. But sorry. To have that kind of ability to make these plays and lead an offense as complex as the one Sean Payton runs, I do think that we're going to see him in the top 5 and competing for these MVPs with Lamar and Joe and Josh and Pat. So I would say probably within the next 3 years, we'll start seeing that.
I think next year he'll be a top 5 one. Cody, go ahead and wrap up the Bo Nix question.
Yeah, I think he's inside the top 10, top 5. I'm not sure quite yet. He hasn't even started his second year quite yet, and we're already putting him in top 5. I mean, Jaden Daniels, to me, is probably closer to being inside the top 5 than Bo Nix, but neither one of them, in my opinion, are in the top 5 quite yet. But I think he's set up for success with Sean Payton, no doubt. I think he has great upside. I mean, Austin's already dubbing him better than Justin Herbert. I think he's on the fast track there. But, I think it's great that 20 years ago, we had like Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, throwing whatever quarterback again from the early 2000s. And now, 20 years later, it's like we're right back to having good quality quarterback at almost every team, and primarily like in the most important divisions and also fighting for playoff spots. So I think it's great. But Bo Nix is not quite there for me yet. I need to see year 2 him take a huge leap to where he's literally the one deciding games and not a complimentary piece. I need to see that he's the one that's making the difference. Kind of like Patrick Mahomes is clearly making a difference on the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't winning because he's not good. You can clearly see that there's a difference when he's at quarterback, when he's not at quarterback. But I think Bo Nix is right there. He's very, very close, in my opinion.
Perfect. Will, I'm going to make a quick pitch because I know you got to get out of here in a couple minutes, buddy. So we already knocked out the Chiefs. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Respect that. Love it. So with the Raiders, you don't want your owner to have a haircut like Mark Davis.
Oh, you are absolutely right. I forgot that existed. How could I forget that?
You
Well,
don't
no.
wanna be
Tom Brady's minority owner. Don't worry about Mark.
Don't have your, you don't want to be a part of that. Chargers, you don't want to be a fan of the Chargers. They can't win. They can't barely get into the playoffs.
They suck.
That only leaves one team. Come to the good side. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, a top 3 defense in the NFL this year. They're going to have that. What better way of saying I'm now a Denver Bronco fan and part of Broncos?
Than being a Denver Bronco fan.
You can be united in orange. Look at that. That's the slogan right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, Cody, you can go ahead and make a Raiders pitch. You got like 30 seconds.
Will, you're already halfway there. You're wearing silver. All we need is black on you. Everyone looks
That's
great in silver and black. So, yeah, it's gray. Gray, silver, it's close enough.
Oh, okay.
I don't agree with this commenter that said that you don't know ball. I think you are exceptionally about knowing ball, which is why you need to be a part of Raider Nation, because there is a bunch of us that are here that embrace those that are outcasts. And we need a person like you in the nation there, Will.
Kansas City has the best barbecue, if that matters.
Bandwagon. We don't want bandwagon.
That's the one. If I jump on now, I'm a bandwagon fan. But like at the tail end of the bandwagon, where it's like, yeah, but we were good like 5 years ago. Why are you just starting now?
It's safe to join the Raiders because they haven't had a lot of success recently. So if you join in on the ground level, then they can't say you were bandwagon when we're in the Super Bowl. So
yeah, I mean, if you're worried about being bandwagon fan, then just be a Chargers fan.
I'd just be an Eagles fan, but that's not going to happen either. Gentlemen, it has been a hell of a time. I appreciate all of you. I'm sure you guys are going to finish this out. I do have to go. I appreciate all of you. Love you all.
Appreciate you, brother. See you, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Will.
Later, dude.
All right, Joel.
And now there were 2.
There were 2.
Two guys.
Four balls.
Let me ask you a question though. Just think do I even need to pitch the Chiefs? Like, are you also out on the Chiefs? Like,
I'm out on the Chiefs for the same reason that Will is, because Lincoln, we all grew up with Lincoln, this guy Lincoln. So it just would be weird. And like, I feel like I would be the ultimate bandwagon fan if I decided to join the Chiefs, because he's been a Chiefs fan the whole time we've known him. So
that's fair. I won't make a pitch then. I'll just make a recommendation. As a Chiefs fan, my recommendation is to become a Broncos fan if you're choosing one of the teams in this division.
You just want to be able to beat us, don't you?
No, I'm high on I love defense. That's my thing. Defense will always be my thing. And Denver, even when they suck, have always just had like a respectable defense.
Well, we're not giving up 70 points.
Yeah, but you figured it out after that. But like I said, we're eliminating the Chargers because nobody needs to be a Chargers fan. We're not going to say that to any of our friends. And then the Raiders, you have a really good chance of just getting stabbed. I don't want you guys to get
It is completely safe now in Vegas. Oakland, different story. We're in Vegas now. It's a lot safer. Just homeless. Don't worry about them, though. They're harmless.
But yeah, that's my recommendation. I won't pitch the Chiefs. I just recommend Denver.
I worry more about the haircut than the homeless.
Yeah.
You don't need to have the haircut.
Avery, I would be curious to hear how how would you pitch it? Being neutral, like you have no skin in this, so it's kind of like, what would you say?
If I was pitching one of these?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't pitch any of this. I'm not
in on any of it. I mean,
you're basically a Broncos fan. You said it.
That's true.
Yeah, we have Bo
Nix. They're on the
that's
short
it.
list. They're on the short list. The no-go list for sure. I've got 5 teams. Everyone else is at least there is a chance, a small chance. But the Browns, the Chiefs,
fair,
the Redskins, the 49ers, and the Bears. Those are the teams.
Okay.
And I know what I said. I don't need anyone correcting me yet. None of those teams. But yeah, the Broncos. I've kind of liked the Broncos for a while just because they're kind of that secondary. We grew up in Oregon. They're kind of that secondary team. You have the Seahawks 5 hours north in Seattle. You have the 49ers like 12 hours south in California. And then you have the Broncos that are like 30 hours. But those are like the 3 closest teams. And I usually pick teams based on the players. However, the reason I haven't chosen a team is because they never keep their players. They're always trading people away. So whatever team I choose, it won't be based on who is there right now. comes down to a lot of different things. I don't want to just pick a good team just to have a good team, but I also live in Alabama. So we're competing with the Falcons and the Titans and the Saints, which I know right now doesn't sound like a competitive bunch.
You need to make a new 5 that you're not gonna. It's a no-go.
Yeah. But the Titans are like an hour and 10 away. So, and they're getting a new stadium. No one will call me a bandwagon fan, but I will be miserable. So it's so many things to consider. But as far as the Raiders, honestly, the Raiders would have. I would say after the Broncos, Raiders are probably next best. Definitely have the Chargers before the Chiefs, but that's still a pretty big gap. I've liked the Raiders. I like that they're in Vegas now. I lived in Vegas for a little bit. Not a fan of Oakland. I've been to Oakland. No one should be a fan of Oakland.
Sketchy area, man.
That whole place, I'm like, this is a hellscape. I like drove through it and hung out there for a little bit. I did not feel safe. Wasn't even in like a bad neighborhood.
That's a pass-by city. Don't even stop to fuel up. We're passing by it.
Just go through the bay. Through the bay. Just cut through. But yeah, I think the Broncos probably have the best shot here. But they happen to be in that sweet spot of being up and coming. They're not a bandwagon yet. You can feel good about joining them. So it's kind of like this year is like a really attractive year for them. Whereas the Raiders have that same kind of we switched locations a little while ago. We got Pete Carroll now. We got Genty now. So there's still that kind of excitement, but not necessarily excitement for wins as much as the Broncos maybe. But definitely no one would call you a bandwagon fan for joining the Raiders. So
yeah, I don't think you even need to be worried about people thinking you're a bandwagon fan if they're
it's not even
well, no, it's why'd you switch teams? And it's I was a Cowboys fan, it was time, and people were like, oh, we get that. Okay, you are a bandwagon. You really did just get a new team. We get it.
Joel, do you have a top 5 that you would be a no-go for?
Chiefs.
I have eliminated a lot of teams already, actually.
Okay.
What I did, I won't reveal the teams, but I
was going to say who remains is what I want to know.
So we're going to talk about it on a little bit on our next episode, but we're going to talk about it throughout the season too. But what I did just to kind of start off my list is I went through each division and I said, if there's one team from this division, who would it be? And so my top list has a list of 8 teams right now.
Okay.
And actually 9, because I moved one from my maybe list over to my strongly considering list after we talked last night. But yeah, there's a lot of teams on there. All the teams in the NFC East, obviously the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Commanders, not the Giants. The Giants are still in the running, but just because of Jackson Dart. Just Jackson Dart. Just simply because of Jackson Dart. But
I drafted him.
The Eagles, I've just hated the Eagles for so long. The Commanders, I've just hated them for so long. Not the Browns. The Chiefs aren't on there. The Steelers are not on there. And that's not to say that I hate the Steelers. They're just my secondary team because of my wife and my father-in-law, and they will forever be my secondary team. So they will not be my
They're his team-in-law.
Yeah, exactly.
You should be a Bengals fan to have a great Sunday with them on divisional matchups.
Yeah. I eliminated the Ravens because the Ravens are the Steelers' biggest rival, and so I just can't be a Ravens fan. So there's a few teams in there, but yeah.
We'll have to tune into your next episode.
So go ahead and when is this episode going to air?
Oh, this is going to be a process.
We'll
release
bracket style?
Yeah, so this next episode, we're just talking about, we're going to reveal all the teams that we have eliminated. Okay. And so we're just going to start there. And then throughout the season, we're not exactly sure, to be honest, how exactly we're going to do it. But we're giving ourselves until the start of the 2026 season to find a new team. So before the start of the 2026 season, we will have a new team. And it's going to be a long process. We don't even know exactly how it's all going to go down yet, but we'll.
But one thing's for sure, it'll take less than a full year to choose. So
I think so too. But that's the deadline.
Yeah.
One question: How how does it feel to be picking a new team? Like, is it weird? Do you feel like you held on to your ex a little too long? Like, what's your emotion?
No, like so like today, like I'm thinking about it. Like I have like 25 years of just like Cowboys. Like it was just weird. Like I was thinking about it today. Like how it is kind of like an ex-girlfriend, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the next day after you broke up, it's like I feel like, you know, like she should be here, but she's not.
And thank goodness, but she should still be here.
Yeah, I mean, she absolutely sucks. Like she's the worst, but like I feel like she should be here.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit of like an imposter syndrome thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like joining one, like I mean, even just choosing a team feels disingenuous. It's like I almost feel like you either had to be born into it through family or like sucked in at early childhood through friends.
You mean trauma?
Trauma.
If you're a Raiders fan, like that's dude. I had a teacher in high school who was a Raiders fan. It was a science teacher, I think, and dude, he would just lament to us. He's like, dude, they put a curse on them, or he said like my grandma, or his wife's grandma like put a curse on them, and they had never won like a playoff game or a Super Bowl or something like that. Like
that must have been the day after the Super Bowl that they lost to the Buccaneers, because I hadn't seen a winning season since that point, other than 2016, and then it's been almost 10 years since that point. So.
Yeah, but just that feeling of like, yeah, this is my team, and I like put a poster up, and I'm like, that's my team. We're doing good. Our team looks good. I'm like, okay, who am I kidding? Like,
I was gonna ask, like, do you think you're gonna be able to get like passionate and like involved?
Oh,
like,
that's the plan. Is like I'm like when I choose, I'm like that's it. Like we're set in stone. My future children will be fans of this team. Like that's why it's like it can't be based on a player that's there now. It's like, no, look, my passion for college sports is waning because of college sports.
Yeah.
Like because of what they're doing to it. I'm like, I need a lifeline. I need some sort of additional fandom to like grab onto, and like, you know, for the same reason everyone likes sports. It's like, dude, this is meaningless in your life, but it gives something else. It's exciting to engage in. It's exciting to like pay attention and watch the game. So it's more of just like do it and then feel like a total fraud for a few years. And then eventually it's just, you're in it.
Yeah.
That's
accurate. Yeah. Very accurate.
You made that seem like you're talking about kids becoming fans. Like this is more than just like a bracket style. Let's have fun, pick a team. Like this is affecting future generations of the world.
Oh, we're serious.
It really is like an X thing. Like he wants kids and the Cowboys don't, you know? So.
we're just going two different directions, all right?
Just going somewhere. So
no, I do want to clarify that I told them because they were talking about it, and I'm like, hey, this is actually one, you could farm this for content for a long time, but two, like on a personal note, because you guys are my friends, like this is extremely like interesting. Like I'm very interested. You guys have been Cowboys for as long as I've known you. So, and then they were asking like, do you like, dude, you've never had a team. Like, do you want to choose a team? I said, look, I'm down because it's high time for sure. But at the same time, I'm not going to do this if you guys are going side piece hunting.
Right.
You need to divorce your wife. Leave the Cowboys. Meaning, if in 2 years the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, you're not a fan anymore. You can say, oh, man, like, good for them. Like, I wish them the best. But I'm still a fan of this team. Like, that's what I want. If you're not on vacation.
You can't have a toxic ex and come back to it. You got to cut it off.
You can just stalk them on Facebook and make sure they're living a terrible life.
Yeah.
I told Joel, I'm like, look, if you guys are serious about this, like really like gonna choose a new team, I'll join in. Like that sounds awesome, but it's not to go back to the X when things get sorted out. But I doubt that'll happen. I think that's a big reason why they're switching anyways, because they don't see that as a plausible scenario. So.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they've booted her way out of the house. I get it. It's the Cowboys. They never wanted a ring. you were committed, they weren't. It's time. All right. So I'm excited to follow this. Now that you guys kind of laid that out on us, I'm excited to follow that and see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm very curious too.
So give the audience where they find you guys, and your social media, and then your podcast, Spotify.
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, and Facebook. Just look up 3 Guys, 6 Balls NFL podcast, but just make sure you put in the NFL podcast part.
Spell the full name. Spell the full name every time.
Do I need to have my browser on incognito mode if I search that name, or
at least safe search? One of the two.
Okay.
Have you guys searched it without the NFL podcast?
I have not. No.
Okay.
We've heard people have, and they didn't find it, and they found alternative material.
Okay.
Which one's Will? Which one's Avery again? I can't remember. One of them's upside down.
Yeah, which one's which? I do want to thank you guys for coming on tonight. It's been fun. I do hope my pitch for the Broncos somewhat helps in your journey. And like Austin said, looking forward to following along with this. I do see Meg in the comments section about losing a bet to a team assigned. Meg, we are all on board with making pitches to you to not be a Falcons fan. Don't do that to yourself anymore.
And we won't blow a 28-3 lead.
Yeah,
join us.
Don't even get started on that.
Raiders.
Cody, do you have anything else before we let these two guys go?
No, honestly, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a ton of fun. We got to do it again in season, and we're going to definitely track your guys' journey of finding your new team, and then we'll celebrate with you guys when you guys marry whoever that lucky team is going to be. But really a joy to share the screen with you guys. Can't wait to do it again. This is super fun.
Yeah. Appreciate you
Thanks,
guys. On.
Yep. Just going to make my pitch real quick. But first, thanks, guys. Join the show. Had a lot of fun. This is my first time meeting you guys. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for having you. My pitch real quick. Just remember, our fans don't stab each other. As you can see in Cody's logo, he's getting stabbed by the swords over there. And Austin's fan base has a shirt that says here to see Taylor's boyfriend. We don't have that. We actually have normal fans. So welcome aboard. And thank you guys.
Hey, my sister lives in Colorado, so, might be a reason for me to visit.
Yeah, when the Raiders come into town and you wear silver and black.
That's going to be all gray to me. So
yeah, it's all the same color.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having us.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Later.
All right.
Man, what a fun episode. Super fun. God, I'm so curious to see how they're going to go on that journey to pick teams.
I couldn't even imagine.
It's going to be a Netflix documentary.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm actually trying to think of it because I've been a Raiders fan for as long as I can remember. I don't know where I would start to find a new team. That's a tough one. That's hard.
I would be able to do what they did. I would have my no-go list, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you would end up being a Bronco fan if you weren't a Chiefs fan because
no. If I had to pick one right now, if I said who I thought my favorite team would be, honest to God, I think I'd be a Niners fan.
Oh, a Niners fan.
Yeah.
Cody's like, what the? It's not getting better at all.
No, that's worse. I'd much rather you as a Chiefs fan.
I'm not even going to think about it because I'm so excited about what Denver has coming this year. Not only this year, but the years to come for that. So it was a good preview. I do want to mention tomorrow. We're super excited for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We're going to be dropping our segments. Our seggies. So be ready. Matt is going to be dropping his milk report. I don't know if we're going to actually necessarily dive into these outside of maybe just introducing them because one, there's a football game Thursday night that I really want us to really start diving into.
And Friday night.
And then Friday night, it's a big AFC West matchup, which, hey, look, we're the West War Room rivals, so we must talk about this. So we will be not only doing that, but then we will be previewing the Chiefs-Chargers matchup Sunday night. Man, we just keep going. Sunday night, our fan appreciation show. We're going to be starting after the last game ends. We're going to be taking you guys all the way up to Sunday Night Football, and we're going to be doing a giveaway, our first giveaway for our 100 subs. So make sure you guys go subscribe You got to be subscribed to the channel in order to qualify for this. And we're going to send out more details throughout the next few days on exactly how to get signed up. But I'm really happy because we're going in the right direction. Our subs keep going up. Our views keep going up. So therefore, what you guys are doing for us is nothing short of phenomenal of where we're going. But now we actually get football season starting.
Mm-hmm.
So now we actually get to start talking about our segments. We get to start talking about matchups, previews, and we get to start doing our co-host predictions, which we're going to keep a running tab on that. And then something we've all wanted to do this whole time is we're going to be giving you guys a fantasy football segment. Don't listen to Matt with his fantasy expertise. Cody and I saw his draft. Just kidding, Matt. But
shots fired.
Shots fired. Matt,
in his defense, he had a young one that he was chasing around majority of the draft. So
he's on one lately.
Let him be a man. Just let him live.
Great advice.
I think Uncle Corey wants to babysit for you, Matt. That's what he's saying.
Dude,
I'm gonna hype them all up on Mountain Dew.
I live here too. We don't want to babysit.
I'll let him hang out. We'll kick it. I have no issues with that. So, Matt, do you have anything else before we hop off here?
No, just again, thanks to the viewers. None of this happens, not just for the War Room, but our personal pages as well. None of this happens without you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the sponsors that took a chance on us. Again, it's been great, and this is a great group, and I'm glad to be on this journey. So,
Cody,
man, just I every time I open my phone to see notifications on Instagram, YouTube, texts about updates that you guys provide, it's just again, it's another shock, and I can't believe we are doing this, and it's been really, really fun. Football season is literally 48 hours away, and we have great guests lined up for this month, thanks to Austin and Matt. And in October, they've already been saying they've only got like 1 or 2 dates in October available, and that's crazy. We're not even in the third day of September. We've got October already locked up. So it's been fun. I cannot wait for the rest of this year and the repeat guests that we've had. I mean, we had Carl Pickens back last week. It's been a fun journey, and it's just getting better, guys. Every day seems to be special, and I can't wait until it continues to grow, and hopefully we continue the same feeling of excitement and not get complacent and get used to it, because the response that we get from people in the comments on Instagram, TikTok, it's been fun. So it's awesome. I'm so excited, and I'm really fortunate that we have 4 gents. You guys are all included doing this journey. So,
and don't forget to go watch that Carl Pickens episode and find out who he wanted to play with.
Yeah,
as far as who he wanted his quarterback to be when he was coming into the NFL. Anything?
Yeah, no, I just agree with everything they've said. All the support, love, everything we've gotten. We had fantasy football draft in person yesterday, and our best friend's in-laws and their family was wearing West War Room Rivals merchandise, and we were just like,
it was kind of like
it's not even our in-laws, it's not even like family to not blood family. We love his in-law family, but they showed up to the fantasy draft just repping us, and I'm like, this is kind of real. It all started with Dick Vermeil for them, obviously St. Louis folks, but yeah, it's been a blast. I'm excited to see where we go. We have our Westie Bestie, another one joining us in 3 weeks with Quentin Jammer. Mm-hmm. Excited for that one. So all this is really going to start taking off with football season here. Make sure you're following, subscribed, all that, because it's going to be wild. It's going to be fun, and we want y'all to be a part of it every step of the way. And yeah, you guys have been okay to work with too.
And we know Quentin's ready for Matt's MILF report. So
yeah, Quentin.
Oh yeah, he was looking for it when we announced it.
He was very adamant about it.
So again, Meg, thank you for being in the chat. Mom, all you guys in the chat, we appreciate the love you guys have given us tonight in the chat. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. We're gonna get into some football talk, and we will see you guys tomorrow night at 7:30 Central, 5:30. Specific time.
Specifically 5:30.
See you guys tomorrow.